This is Stephen Sindoni, targeted surveillance, day 9. Our show today has got Moishe Meiskless in it. Topic of discussion today will be Barack Obama, and it centers around his birth certificate. Is it authentic or is it not? Without further ado, we'll go to the clips I've got, and we'll leave the camera running, and if Meiskless is still out here, then we'll close with Meiskless today.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio says he suspects President Obama's birth certificate is a fake.
We believe probable cause exists indicating that forgery and fraud may have been committed.
Arpaio says his team of volunteer investigators believes President Obama's birth certificate is computer generated, and they say they have a person of interest that may be involved in that hoax.
So what is next? CBS 5's Heather Moore has been trying to get the answer to that question all night. Heather, what did you come up with?
Well, Catherine and Cena, the sheriff says maybe Congress needs to take this on next. It all started up again when the Tea Party of Surprise asked Sheriff Joe Arpaio to investigate. He in turn asked his volunteer cold case posse to dig in. Now, we spoke with the head of that team this afternoon who refused to talk to us about that so-called person of interest. However, he did say this may be the biggest scandal perpetrated on the American people. One of the biggest scandals, rather, perpetrated on the American people.
Oh my God. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wants to think this is happening, in their country.
Lead investigator Michael Zullo claims the group didn't set out to take down the president.
Our goal in the beginning was to prove this document authentic. The problem is the evidence kept taking us somewhere else.
He says it took 6 months and 2,200 hours to come to the conclusion that President Obama's birth certificate from Hawaii, released by the White House last April, was manufactured.
It never was a paper document. It was literally created in the mind of a computer and resides on cyberspace.
The White House responded today by pointing to the president's comments last year regarding the same issue.
We're not going to be able to solve our problems if we get distracted by sideshows and carnival barkers.
This is your face, your reputation, your name in the front of this investigation. How comfortable are you making these allegations?
I'm very comfortable because we did seek the advice of experts regarding this. You can build the document. We could take the document apart out of the same file released by the White House. You can't do that if you just scan in a birth certificate or any other document.
What do you say to the naysayers? And there are a lot of critics out there saying this is all, a bunch of BS.
Prove it. We did. We proved our point. That document's created.
And from here, Sheriff Arpaio may look for a congressional investigation. We reached out to every member of Arizona's congressional delegation in Washington today. Only Representative Jeff Flake's office got back to us saying that he believes that President Barack Obama is a U.S. citizen and was born here in the United States. Reporting live in Phoenix, I'm Heather Moore, CBS 5 News.
Heather, thank you. So, how did they reach that conclusion? Here's more now from Investigator Zulu at today's press conference.
Mr. Obama's birth certificate, there are approximately 8 or 9 links and layers. Links and layers are indicative of a document being built.
The birth certificate was compared to a controlled document that investigators scanned into a computer. After close examination, Zulu said there were several inconsistencies between the two. One had to do with the so-called green safety paper. Investigators say it should be seen on the onset of the birth certificate, but they determined it was the last element applied to the document. Zulu also claims the register and date stamps can be moved around. He says if the document was authentic, he wouldn't be able to do that.
Whoever created this document imported that register stamp and that date stamp, laid it on a white background, and then filled in the green safety paper around it.
Zulu tells us Obama's birth certificate failed every test they put it through. All 6 videos explaining the steps of the investigation were uploaded to YouTube by the user Tea Party Power Hour.
CBS 5 viewers are speaking their minds on this one. Penny wrote, "What the heck is going on with this state? We have a disrespectful governor and a sheriff that is going rogue. Has everyone in power in Arizona lost their ever-loving minds? For Pete's sake, we have a lot bigger problems than this." Margie says the birth certificate should have been presented before Obama ever ran for president. Why wasn't it? He is undermining our country in a multitude of ways that the media refuses to expose. I wish I could trust our president, just can't. Susan chimed in, "It's costing us nothing to investigate Obama. I think he's a fraud. Did it occur to anyone that Obama is pushing amnesty so hard because he's illegal? I say more power to Sheriff Arpaio." Well, this story is just beginning to unfold. Stay with CBS 5 News for the most in-depth coverage on Arpaio's investigation into the president.
Loretta Fuddy, Director of State Department of Health in Hawaii, made national news in 2011 after she verified the authenticity of Barack Obama's birth certificate. But tragedy struck on December 11th of 2013. Loretta Fuddy was killed after a small plane with 9 people aboard crashed into the waters off the Hawaii island of Molokai, and she was the only one of the 9 who perished. How convenient for the Obama team. And pay attention to the fatal day, December 11th. The number 11 rears its ugly head again. Coincidence? I don't think so. What you're looking at now is the official birth certificate of Barack Obama. Pay attention to the red arrows. The first arrow indicates the hospital that Barack Obama was born in. In 1961, the hospital was called Kauai Keaulani Children's Hospital and Kapi'olani Maternity Home. The hospital was not listed as the Kapi'olani Maternity and Gynecological Hospital. And the second item I will cite is the birthplace of Barack's father, Barack Obama Sr. It lists the country as Kenya in East Africa. In 1961, Kenya was known as a British East African protectorate. Kenya was not recognized until 1963, 2 years after Barack Obama's birth record. And the final thing I will list here in this video is the race of the father. The record indicates African. African is not a race. It's either black or Negro. So there is definitely a red flag here. So who is Barack Obama? He is the son of King Bhumibol and Queen Sirikit of Thailand. He is the Prince of Thailand. It's time we Americans wake up to this grand deception before it's too late. And it is because I am a truth seeker and an independent researcher. I am and have been for many, many years under surveillance because I see through the manure and I get to the facts. I get to the bottom of the situation. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. All right, now you guys can watch the lame duck, Moisha Miceless. Day 9 is over.